Warning, this video contains flashing lights which may not be suitable for photosensitive epilepsy.
Hello there guys, Francis Gray here, and in today's video I'm going to be taking apart my old workstation, and with it being a brand new year I'm going to recreate a brand new workstation, and hopefully at the end of it it's going to be a lot better than what I'm currently using at the moment. So sit back and enjoy, and I will see you at the end. Okay guys, so here is my old workstation. So that's where most of the model kits are built. That's where I put my iPad so I can look at references. And then I have my two light sources here, which are adjustable via that little control panel over there. And I've got all my airbrush paints and some glues, my power sockets. Then I have my Joker Laugh Subscribe light up picture over there, light up light, with some of my little cartoon monsters on top. And then we have various paints in the corner. And then we've got a lot of paintbrushes back there, and as you can see some of them aren't easy to get to. And then we've got my magnifying glass here that should light up. Yep. And then this is my area where I keep some of my other paints, like my watercolours and some of the like my old Revell paints and stuff like that. And then we've got like boxes of milliput and wood filler and scalpels and all that stuff. And then we've got a bunch of different files on a magnet. And then we've got sculpting tools down there. That corner, don't even ask about that, that is just a mess at the moment. That's just various hobby related stuff that I haven't really got much of a use for. I just put it there and just keep it there for one day I do use it. And then my trusty hairdryer, which helps heat up some paint jobs so they dry quicker. And then this is a homemade spray booth which I made, which is just an upside down Perspex translucent tub that I've just put some canvases back there. And this is my docking station to my iPod, so I can have some music. This didn't always stay here. I've only put this here temporarily because I know that I want to incorporate this into the new build. This also lights up as well from the inside. And then over here we've got various tester pots, etc. And then just various little extra bits, some old Games Workshop paints there. And yeah, and then we go up to like surface primers and airbrush cleaning gear and all that stuff. And then we've got screwdrivers and stuff. And then this back piece up here, this is just random, just stuff that has accumulated over the years. Some stuff I'm going to use to make customs out of, and some things like the kids made us, like Daddy Pig there. And yeah, so all in all, oh yeah, and I forgot to say my The Thing poster from the game The Thing, which is loosely based as a sequel to the film. I'm a huge fan of John Carpenter's The Thing, so yeah, I'm gonna have to try and reincorporate adding that back in if I can. If I can't, God knows where I'm gonna put it because I'm running out of room. So yeah, so this is more or less my old workstation. Oh, getting back down to here, just various old paints that I still need to go through. My airbrush compressor, my trusty bin, and kitchen roll dispenser, because you can't ever have enough kitchen roll in this hobby. So yeah, so this is the old workstation. So I'm going to go ahead to rip all this down, take it all away, and then I'm going to start afresh. Step 1. Out with the old, in with the new. Okay guys, so I'm going to start this video with a montage of me stripping everything down.
And here we go.
And now I'm just going to go in with a quick hoover, quick once round, just to mop up years worth of tiny little bits of plastic sprues and bits of dry milliput and all kinds of horrible gross stuff. Step 2. A new desk. Okay guys, so I decided to go with the Costware L-shaped computer desk from Amazon.co.uk, and the reason I went for this is it was more or less the exact right dimensions that I needed. The only negative was the little corner space. If at all possible, I would like that to be completely up to the wall, just so I can house some like paintbrushes or something. So I really want to utilise as much space as possible. So yeah, so I decided to order that online and get it back, and then I suppose we should go ahead and put it together. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and construct the main table on the opposite side of the room. Basically there's just a little bit more room and a little bit more space over there, where if I tried to build this in the actual corner it's going to go, it would have been a lot tighter and it would have been almost impossible, if I'm honest. So yeah, so just gonna do a quick fast forward montage again, just constructing this, and then we can go over and try and get it in that corner. So as far as tables go, this actually went together pretty easily. There was a couple of parts on the instructions that could have been a little bit better, but all in all, as long as you use common sense, you can't really go wrong. So yeah, just gonna tie the little back supports in place now, and then once those are nice and tight, we can go ahead and get it into the corner. Now, getting it in the corner is very difficult, so I would suggest getting 2 people to do this, but I'm really impatient and the kids are at school at the moment, so I thought, what the hell, I might as well just persevere and get it done. And unfortunately, while I was trying to get it in place, I realised that Joker Laugh subscribe light was going to be in the way, so I had to mess about trying to do a balancing act to get them all off the off the wall, but not, you know, drop them and break them everywhere. So yeah, that was a little bit you know, change your underpants time, but all's well that ends well. Take a little bow there, and yeah, seems to fit rather nicely. So let's go ahead and start stripping down some of these back wall pieces, get all this nice and bare, and then we can build it all up from from there going forward. So for the next piece, now I want to go ahead and add a wooden L-shaped backdrop that will attach to the desk itself. So in order to do that, I needed some long, thin scrap wood that would work as a nice backdrop. Basically, it's easier for me to screw like shelves and stuff like that into place on a bit of scrap wood than it would be to like drill holes in the wall, etc. So yeah, so I managed to get this from a friend. He was throwing away a old cupboard, and I got basically the two sides, and those measured more or less perfect. So unfortunately, some of the ends were a little bit neglected, where he left them outside, and in England we had a couple of weeks of bad weather with Arctic blasts hitting us and stuff like that, so there's quite a bit of moisture, so I thought I'd best chop the edges off to basically stop any like rot spreading or anything like that. So yeah, so I'm in my garage at the moment with my trusty jigsaw, and I've drew a line that's nice and straight, 90-degree angle, and take my time to cut it up and then sand it smooth, and then onto the paint stage.
A few minutes later.
So talking about the paint stage, we are here now. So I'm just going in with some very no frills black paint. Now this stuff, it applied on okay, but it was very toxic to breathe. So yeah, gas masks to the ready. This stuff, it smelt for probably 3 or 4 days after. So unfortunately, this slowed the project down by a couple of days, because that paint, even though it does apply okay, it just would not fully dry, and it stunk like you wouldn't believe.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But thankfully, with the process of or the magic of editing, you don't have to see this. So let's get on to the next stage. Okay guys, so we need to go ahead and add the wooden backs in place. So I went in with 4 of these L brackets and put them in all of the various corners. So when we go to add the wood in the next stage, it should hold it a lot better in place. So for the next part I will need help, so I managed to get my daughter to help me. So yeah, so now that it's all painted and the smell's finally gone and it's okay to handle, I decided to push the table as far forward as I can, and then my daughter can squeeze on in the back there, and then she can fasten some screws in place, and then that will help protect it from the back. And then once we go ahead and add the other side, then it'll make a lot stronger structure, like an L shape that attaches directly to the table itself. So now that the back pieces are all aligned and nice 90-degree angles, we can go ahead and secure it all with some L brackets in all various corners.
It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no love. Everything feels like you're sticking.
So you might have noticed that there is a big triangle hole right there. So how I'm going to get around this is, when I ordered the table, it came with a spare small piece of wood, which is where you're supposed to house your like desktop to your PC. So we're not going to do that with this build, so I've got this nice little piece of wood that perfectly matches, that we can cut up into shape. So I went ahead, did the measurements, and I pre-marked where I need to cut, and then hopefully, all going well, that should fill that corner out lovely. So back into the garage now, and using my trusty circular saw to cut the edges off, and then hopefully we can add it in place. So thankfully all the measurements were correct, and it did cut rather nice, so this should sandwich in that corner rather lovely now. So I'm just on my back underneath the table, and I'm going to secure it in place, and then hopefully we can reuse this corner space.
Nice.
So to make sure that that is nice and securely in place, I'm also going to add some little small L brackets to the top surface as well. And seeing as everything's black, I decided to then paint over these bright silver brackets again with some acrylic black, just so they blend in a lot nicer. Step 3. Adding accessories. Okay guys, this is going to be a fast forward montage. Basically it's just adding various accessories to in and around the area and on the actual table itself. Basically just things to house modelling equipment, everything from paints to nail files to kitchen towels to basically just the general every day-to-day stuff that you need. Step 4. Adding lights and extras. Okay guys, so these are the lights I'm going to be adding in place. Now I bought these off amazon.co.uk and they are Gersuka A1 LED light photography.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
God knows how you pronounce that. So yeah, I'll just add a link to the description bar below if you're interested. They are very good lights, but the stands that come with them aren't all that fantastic, so you might have to do like I have and just incorporate your own kind of mounting system. But all in all, I'm really happy with these, and I actually bought a second pair of these, one for the lighting in my garage, so when I do my intros to my videos, these are what are powering the light source, and then obviously in the main painting area upstairs as well. So for the next part I'm going to go in with 2 of these USB multicoloured light strips, and I'm going to apply them to both back parts of where we added the scrap wood, or the L-shaped wood if you like, and then once all plugged in we should have a nice illuminated backdrop. Okay, so now that that's installed, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to start adding some of the various items back. Okay, so now that that is installed, I'm going to go ahead and re-add that shelving unit in place. So the reason why I took it down was it needed a good scrub, basically. It needed a good clean, and I couldn't really do it as it was up on the wall. So yeah, just a couple of screws in and out, so no big deal. So for the next part I went ahead and reacquired some little pots, if you like, or pen pots if you like. So they were already a bright green and a purple lid, so that's perfect for Joker Laugh page or Joker's colours. So all I did was just stick some Joker Laugh little logos on the front there, and they work really well for little pots on either side. So what I'm doing at the moment is I am reinstalling that docking station, if you like, for my iPad. So it's an older generation iPad, so it's not much use for like downloading apps, etc. Because we all know the Apple Store, they like to update every 5 minutes, and yeah, all I can do basically is just go on the internet with it and download like images for references. So yeah, it still comes in handy, but I wouldn't be trying to hack into the Pentagon anytime soon.
What?
Yep, that'll do nicely. So for the next stage, I'm going to go ahead and recreate my homemade spraying booth. So I've had to strip this down into multiple parts, so it's very easy to put back together as long as you know what goes where, and hopefully we can get this all rewired up and working beautifully. Okay guys, so now that that's installed, for the next stage I want to go ahead and add my magnifying glass back into place. Now anybody that's built any model miniatures in the past will tell you that you need a decent magnifying glass, otherwise, well, you'll probably go blind from all the straining. So now I'm going to go ahead and install my trusty Joker Laugh light up display, and leaving a little bit of room at the top so the little monsters can be safely housed in place as well. But yeah, hopefully this will all line up nice and straight, and we can crack on with the next part. So for the next part, I'll carefully drill 2 holes on either side, and I'm adding a little brass hook, and this is going to house my pliers and snippers. And what self-respecting YouTuber wouldn't install a nice, vibrant subscribe logo right where you can see it? So yeah, that was basically a hint. If you haven't subscribed, I strongly suggest you should. Hint, hint. And now I went ahead and I bought a separate black matching display, like little stand that's on wheels, and this is going to house not 1 but 2 air compressors for different dual action air sprayage. So yeah, sounds very fancy, I know.
The cleanup on them is a nightmare.
So I'm going to go in with some zip ties and tie them nice and securely to make sure that when the air compressor's on, it doesn't vibrate off and fall and break. Okay, a quick test, and they seem to be working fine. And for the ledge above, I decided to stock up my paints. So this is a wire little shelving bracket which I got in an antique shop of all places, and this will come in really useful to house my hairdryer so I can speed up paint jobs, my glue gun, and also my grinder. So this is that shelving unit on the wall, but full of all the useful modelling materials that I need day to day. And next to that I'm going to house 2 brackets so I can house a homemade tripod that I created for pivot down scenes in my videos. And now I've added a hook onto the wall so I can house my magnifying glasses, I suppose, the ones with the light on top. Yeah, the ones that make you have googly eyes. And this is a item that I originally got with my wood lathe, which is supposed to hold the various like chuck size and stuff like that, but I found it more useful to use to put my damp paintbrushes. So before you go ahead and think I'm crazy, basically in a nutshell what you do is it's always better to leave paintbrushes face down when naturally drying, otherwise you can get like weird split ends in your paint brushes. So yeah, so gravity's your friend in this regard. So once I've cleaned my brush, I just put it into place, hold a clamp on top of it, and then just leave it to dry, and then it's good as new to use again. So after a couple of days fully drying in the garage, I have now brought in my fully updated kitchen roll dispenser. So this is going to be housed underneath the table where it is easily accessible.
Yeah.
And I also added a little shelf underneath. This is to house one of my cameras and like a box of sponges for dabbing effects. And I also went ahead and attached the power mains to the wall, so all the plugs are up out of the way rather than me kicking them all the time. And I also tidied up all the wires, so good stuff. And all that's left now is to add a nice comfy leather chair. Okay guys, so it's finally built, and I have to admit I've had a blast working on this. A lot of backache and muscle ache from doing it all, but I have to admit I'm happy with the overall results. So, I tried it out for the first time last night, and I made myself some little Necron warriors from Warhammer 40k. It's my first venture into Warhammer, so I have to admit I did really enjoy the experience. I made myself a nice drink, and I put on some nice tunes on the docking station, and I just sat back and I just enjoyed myself, and it was an awesome night. So if you've really liked this video, or you've just appreciated the transition from what it was to what it is now, please hit the like button and share on Facebook and Twitter, because it helps new people find the YouTube channel, which I'm always appreciative. Thank you for any help. If you have any comments, comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future builds. And if you want to be a really awesome viewer, please spend 5 minutes to check out my Patreon page. And with a bit of help, we can do these videos full-time rather than part-time. So, once again, I'm Francis Gray, and this is my new hobby setup for a brand new year. I'll see you in the next build.